the selected one. Money will follow your directions. You have been given divine power, a spiritual command center inside you that brings reality to life. The world may not have seen it yet, but the universe is aware of what you're carrying. You are not just someone searching for a change. You are the change. You embody the transformation that was shouted into the wind long before your arrival. And now you're reminded of something more profound than knowledge. This is a revelation. Money will follow your directions. You must understand. You have decided to think that your words have energy. Your voice serves several uses beyond communication. It acts as a stimulant for creativity. When you speak often, people move. Vibrations shift. The doors open. The conditions alter. What others labor for may materialize in your life by divine design. Because you were never meant to chase money. You were supposed to call it in. Now, before we go, watch this video till the end to enable your soul to absorb all that is being downloaded into your life, and then write your best wishes in the comments box along with the numbers. 777. This chapter is about making dreams come true and invigorating the universe. Allow us to bring your dreams into announcements. Choose one like this video. Subscribe. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, let we begin. The selected one. Money is not just a thing. It's an energy. It responds to alignments. It recognizes authority. When the right soul speaks with conviction, money does not hesitate. It listens. It moves. It multiplies. You've spent far too long doubting your ability to attract, receive, and overflow. But those days are gone. The moment you begin speaking from your anointing rather than your anxiety, everything around you begins to reflect the intensity of your voice. Your voice is sacred. When you speak with conviction, the environment responds to your desires. Do you realize how magnetic your energy becomes when you feel you are worthy of wealth? When you stop appealing for money and instead acknowledge its presence. When you stop asking whether abundance is on its way and instead announce that it is here. This represents your transformation from chasing to commanding, from waiting till announcing, from hoping to knowing. There is a version of oneself that is already established in the spirit and does not question when money will come. That version of you just speaks and the money flows. That version of you gives instructions and resources obey. You don't need to change who you are to become that version. You only need to step into the reality that has always existed for you. Money will listen to your voice if you stick to your purpose. They are connected. Wealth flows towards alignment. When you are living in your purpose, standing the truth of who you are, you have an indisputable frequency. You don't need to manipulate, beg, or convince. You speak. When you make a proclamation, something happens. The power is not confined inside the noise. It is in the knowledge. You're not just talking about money. You are conversing with it. When you communicate to it with truth and belief vibrations, it recognizes you. Light interacts with light. Wealth responds to merit. Your donation has inspired and healed countless others. Select one. Money is unmoved by emotion. It moves utilizing energy. Your energy has become unwavering. You've cried. You've waited. You have endured. But now you've entered the realm of heavenly command. You are not surviving. You possess sovereignty. You're no longer saying affirmations out of fear. You are referring to them as laws. When you say, I am wealthy, you're not hoping. You are legislating. You're constructing an environment. You're claiming an inheritance. And the money that had before overlooked you now pays special attention. The funds that looked so far away are suddenly pulled to your field. Why? You have finally recalled who you are. It's no longer about attracting money. It's about comprehending that money gravitates toward your truth. When you embrace your whole voice, your authentic, bold, clear, and powerful self, you become a living command. Money detects frequency, and your frequency now indicates authority. You don't need to work harder. You need to speak more clearly. Speak accordingly. Speak with confidence. Speak with power. Speak, knowing that the world's riches are available to satisfy your inner destiny. You aren't here to worship money. You are here to lead it. You are not meant to be defined by your circumstances. You were meant to speak with them and move them. You were never meant to live under constraint. You were designed for unrestrained flow. That is why you are experiencing resistance. Your soul realizes that there is more, and your voice was built to make it easier to reach. There is no such thing as being too forceful in the realm of divine manifestation. Speak what you sense inside your spirit. Declare what you know is yours. Money is not the master. Yes, you are. When you accept your divine essence, all of creation leans in to listen. You are not behind. You aren't late. You are prepared to demand money with precision. And no amount of money will stop you from speaking. It will recognize you. You are not given an average voice. It's a spiritual signature. It offers a tone that suggests that your financial breakthrough is near. It hasn't happened yet, not because you are lacking. It's because you're getting ready. You're learning to quit whispering wants and instead speak realities. You're learning to replace asking with believing. You're learning how to stop asking for permission to be wealthy and instead allow money to come up. And once you've crossed that line in your heart, nothing can stop you. You will not only get money, but also grow it. You will not only attract money. You'll keep it because you're more than just a receiver. You are a ruler. You are not just a dreamer. You are the voice of destiny. And that voice is tremendous, divine and indisputable power. So speak as if it's already done. Move as if the millions are already yours. Carry yourself as if money followed you. Because when you speak from the center of your authority, the universe has no choice but to respond. Every cell in your body is now throbbing with wealth. Every thought is congruent with excess. Each step you take puts you closer to visible and tangible riches. Not because you desire money, but because you have finally figured out the truth. Money will follow your directions. You don't wait to be blessed. You're a gift. You're not waiting for clearance. You are the authority. And you don't need everyone to understand it. You just need to walk in it. Speak, give it a command, and see it develop. Because someone has chosen one. When you know who you are and really understand the creative force behind your words, money does not hesitate. It listens, it comes, it remains, and it multiplies. Not by luck, not by chance, but by divine plan. Because your voice has been showered with compliments. And now it's your chance to speak, and the sky will open and answer. The selected one. Your voice has a wonderful quality. When you speak, you're not just creating sounds. You are sending instructions into the invisible realm. And such commands do not fall to the ground untouched. They activate the forces. They open passages. They push money to emerge from its hiding place and float toward you, just the way a magnet draws iron to itself. Because when the chosen one speaks, the whole universe listens. This is not a fantasy. This is not a metaphor. This is a spiritual law. Money does not equal death. Money isn't a random variable. It progresses toward clarity, conviction, and command. You're not pleading for it to come. You're telling it to come. You're not concerned about whether it will endure. You're saying that it has no choice but to multiply in your presence. Your speech creates an environment, and the climate you create is conducive to miracles. When you enter a spot and talk a lot, the space must comply. When you enter a season and announce wealth, the season changes. You were not designed to keep silent in the face of a disability. You were born with the capacity to rise, speak, and alter reality. Money senses the energy behind your words. If you speak out of fear, it will pause. When you speak from a state of uncertainty, your words wobble. However, when you speak from your identity as a royal person, you really are. It stands at attention. It rushes towards your objective. It falls in love with your voice. Do you realize how many blessings have circled your field, waiting for you to give the command? Not to hope, not wanting, but demanding. Because the chosen one doesn't whisper. They proclaim. The selected one doesn't beg. They broadcast. You've stepped into it now. That's why things are going faster. That is why people notice your energy change. Because you are now communicating in a language that money understands. And what's the language? It's the language of truth, the language of reassurance. the language of divine ownership. It's not loud. It's pretty powerful. It's not desperate. It's vital. This is not a performance. This is a revelation. You don't speak for attention. You speak for creation. The selected one. It's not just about saying the right things. It is about being the voice of money itself. When you enter a room, let your energy speak for you. When you enter a business deal, your presence should change the dynamics. You weren't intended to merely have money. You were meant to command, lead, and dominate it. Money cannot stay where there is misunderstanding. It will not multiply if there is uncertainty. It desires a leader rather than a follower. And now that you've assumed that stance, you'll notice the flow becomes stronger. Nothing changed around you, yet something inside you awakened. You've been conversing with the mountains. Now speak to millions. You've been chatting about the battle. Now speak to the supernatural supply. Every word you utter is a spiritual transaction. You are no longer speaking for the individual in need. You're speaking as the person in charge, as the one selected by heaven to command resources for a greater good. Let this sink in. You are not just speaking for yourself. You are speaking on behalf of generations. When you open your lips powerfully, you release legacies. You are eliminating limitations from your bloodline. You are praying for a prosperous future that goes beyond yourself. That is why your voice is important. That's why your voice carries weight. It's not just a tool. It's your treasure. There are people on the earth that want you to believe in your voice. Because when you do, you open doors that no one knew existed. You give them permission to ascend. When they see money, they will obey your orders. They will learn to command themselves. You are leading a revolution just by being yourself. Your wealth is more than just a source of comfort. It is for making calls. It's for elevation. It is done to obtain influence. Your voice powers everything. Every new financial opportunity in your life is not a coincidence. It is a direct result of the spiritual shift that occurred when you finally said, "I will never speak lack over my life again." That is when everything changed. Money heard it, the universe heard it, heaven heard it, and everyone responded. Now you've entered a new realm where words build universes. You no longer toss sentences into the air, hoping they stick. You write claims with precision, certain that they will land exactly where they should and have the appropriate impact since you're no longer casual with your voice. It is sacred. It's wonderful. It's intended to lead. So declare it with your spirit. I speak, and money listens. I command money, and it obeys. I migrate, and money opportunities emerge. I live in a flow in which my speech creates rivers of nourishment. That is not fantasy. That is your current frequency. And the more you repeat it, the more you see the evidence. Keep an eye out for opportunities that reveal themselves. Observe how surprising coincidences become daily occurrences. Observe how client contracts, revenue, and clarity flow seamlessly into your life. Why? Because you stopped asking whether you're prepared and started asserting that you are. Money does not follow greatness. It follows power. Presence bestows power. You are here right now, completely aligned, aware, and awake. And your speech reflects that heightened emotion. So use it. Speak without apology. Declare without hesitation. Create without resistance. Your voice is a conduit via which wealth flows. You don't need a backup plan. Your mouth is the blueprint. Your speech reflects the strategy. Your trust is worth money. And with every word you say that is congruent with who you really are, money loses its resistance to you. It no longer sees you as a stranger. It sees you as home, since money was never meant to be your ruler. It was meant to be your mirror. It displays your opinions, demands, and aggressive statements. Your reflection is now clear, just as your voice is. Look around. The selected one. Look at the fast climb. Consider the astonishing acceleration. Consider the unexpected favors, deposits, approvals, and proposals. That's not luck. That is not arbitrary. That is the response. Responding to your voice. You've reawakened something most people never use: spiritual mastery over money. This explains why you feel different. As a result, earlier anxieties no longer have the same weight for you. You've gone on to another realm. You've entered a world where money is shrinking, wealth is collapsing, and success no longer seems far. It seems unavoidable since your voice triggered it. And it won't stop now. Not now. Not tomorrow. Not ever. You've entered a multiplicative rhythm and will never diminish again. You will never whisper when you are expected to roar. You'll never be unsure about when it's time to announce. Your voice is no longer silent. It is sovereign. You are the sound that money tracks. And from now on, whenever you speak, expect action. Expect miracles. Expect multiplication. Not because you are lucky, but because you are in agreement. You embody the frequency that money recognizes. You are the pattern it follows. And your voice is the key. Keep speaking. Keep commanding. Keep pouring. Money is listening to you right now. You've gone too far by questioning the power of your voice. You've seen too much to doubt it. Now select one. The indications have been evident. Money has already reacted. You have noticed a difference. Unexpected credits, miraculous supplies, fast refunds, and new inquiries. Something changed in the unseen, and now it is appearing in your bodily reality. What had changed was not your surroundings. It was your voice. You no longer speak from the pain of the past. You talk with authority. This explains why the air around you feels different. That's why people suddenly see you differently. That is why financial opportunities are attracted to your name, now that you are no longer hesitant to speak out. You are commanding by faith. Every moment you open your lips with confidence, you tear down old boundaries. You disrupt inherited patterns. You have conquered genetic poverty. You breach the silence that has kept your family together. Because when you speak, you impact more than just your own life. You have an influence on the lives of everyone engaged with your destiny. You are not merely gaining wealth. You're building a new reality. You are not just manifesting money. You are reawakening the energy of heavenly wealth, which was always there but dormant. And it's expanding right now because your voice has finally matched your personality. Money doesn't move by coincidence. It moves in accordance with law. And you are enacting the rule of divine command. The law of unshakable self-belief, or the rule of vibrational mastery. When your speech is consistent with that rule, no gate can stay closed. No check can bounce. No resource may be concealed. Your pronouncement becomes the goal. This is why your connection to your voice needs to be restored. You couldn't speak with bitterness anymore. You could not keep using the language of restrictions. You had to block out the world's noise in order to hear your true tone, the tone that converts thoughts into items and energy into money. And now that it's open, there is no going back. You know what it's like to speak and see results. You have seen the power of alignment in action. And that was just the beginning. Your voice is becoming louder. Your instructions are getting clearer, and the universe is reacting more quickly.